Nakano leads.
Nakano a flyer. Ukawa looks like he's in second place on the drag race anyway. That's Luki on the outside, number 34. So it's Nakano who's going to lead. There's Valentino Rossi up the inside of Ukano and takes second place.
Second to last is Ralph Fullman at the moment. Still 3-4 abreast. They tumble. There's Anthony West, the Australian rider off the number 14 RS kitted Honda. Teammate to Toru Ukawa. Out of the race already. Tangled with someone else. Nakano still leads from. It is now Toru Ukawa.
Oh, there's another machine down there. And that is Waldman. Waldman, who was just a pack. Waldman down in that incident that also took out the Australian teenager Anthony West.
At the front, Nakano still leads from. It is Toru Ukawa as 25 points and a big golden trophy. Here we have a replay.
Take a look. On the inside, it looks like Waldman.
No, Waldman's coming. He hit Porto or somebody. Or the Mateus Rios.
Yeah, that's who it is.
Yes.
The Argentine rider, Mateus Rios.
Okay, back at the front. We've got Ukawa's going for the break, but I suspect it's not going to last for very long because of the thing with number 46 written all over it. Oh, there's another one down the road. This is...
is it? It's one of the Dantine machines. They might both be wild cards because he did enter a second wild card bike today.
250 Honda, who has a little bit of a bubble as he goes round the long right-hander. It is Perugini in 5th, ahead of Battaini 6th and Jeremy Williams in 7th. His 8th position starts on the outside of the second row. Back with Ukawa.
All the action's been at the back of the pack where we've had crashes here now with 4 riders taken out. That ship leader at the lead, in the lead now. From Valentino Rossi on that powerful Aprilia. We saw the Aprilia stretch its legs down the start-finish line the last time. As Stigefeld has gone down.
That's 3, 5, 6.
6.
Dear, oh dear.
Well, I said it was a big grid, 8 rows, but didn't last long.
Because going off already. Not too much Spanish interest at the front of this 250cc race, of course. A lot of Spanish riders in there, but they're a bit further down.
Yeah, you'll see the Spanish crowd will look at the horsepower on the Aprilia as he comes alongside the Yamaha and just shoots past. That isn't even fair, is it?
I was speaking with Tech. We're on lap 3 of 23 in the 250 race with Toru Ukawa still leading, but Dennis, I don't think it's going to be for very long.
Now, Valentino is coming really close, and this power, and then also by Marcelino Lucchi. Ukawa's got a pretty powerful machine of his own. He leads the championship, he leads the race, but in fact, Valentino Rossi...
Ukawa looking back, we were at Valentino Rossi, who goes down the back straight through that heat haze. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, big gap then behind, but Williams and Rolfo are at Catalunya and together on the track. We know what happened last year.
Well, we're already into qualifying times. The pole position was a 48.1, and we're in 48.2s already from Rossi.
We pick up with Shinya Nakano on the number 56 Yamaha, who's soon, I think, going to be gobbled up by Franco Battini on the 1998 specification. Customer Aprilia, the number 21 bike, Jinx 2. And Rossi, there is a change. Battini did get through. Battini is ahead of Nakano, I believe, further behind this main pack.
Well, Valentino Rossi's won 2 of the last, probably about what's happening as he sizes up Ukawa here. And how Rossi goes about the rest of the afternoon's work is going to be determined to a certain extent by whether it's going to be just a rider as a tester. He's not riding under team orders this year, can't be. He's riding for Doc Shop.
A lot of Aprilia works, Aprilia mechanics in the pickup with Shinya Nakano, already a Grand Prix winner so far in his... Well, I was going to say illustrious career. It is, because he has finished 4 races so far this year. He's won 1 of them, he got 2nd in another, and he got 3rd. Rossi is closing in on borrowed time of Toru Ukawa. The gap last time was just less than 1/4 second between Ukawa and Rossi. This time, well, it's a little bit more. But Ukawa's riding well here. He's not giving up this lead, that is for sure, but it is such early days in this race. Very early days in this race, and as we see Ukawa leading from Rossi, I think Marcelino Lucchi is going to be...
Lucchi, well, he's got as many ponies under the hood as Valentino Rossi does, and maybe more, because as he says, you know, they go for the sure thing. Full appreciation and permission, because their association with the, you know, with the Works team gives them just the best of the best stuff.
The Harada 500 effort, you have the Rossi 250 effort, the Dock Shop Racing with Luki, the Waldman, and then you have the Battinis, the Rolfos, and the Locatellis, the McWilliams, and of course only you see Aprilia mechanics hopping from one garage to the next. It's all one great big family, the Luki, Rossi, Waldman.
Yeah, those are the proper works Aprilias, and then you move to the second level works supported Aprilias with their own code number.
The 98 bikes of Rolfo, Battini and McWilliams. And he did say that he had a development bike with some development bits on it. And, well, haven't Honda been working hard?
He's not passing because he doesn't want to.
You reckon?
As you can see, he just takes a look around and... Rossi holding a tight line there as he looks up the inside. But one thing that Nakano has just seen a lot more of the back of those Aprilias as they blasted past him on the straight than he really wants to. Nakano is now back in a fading 5th place.
Slot, and he's gone missing on the Paget Honda. McWilliams still in 8th place, and therefore only Brit in the points at the moment. He shoot, and 0.3 of a second lead is Ukawa over Rossi. Does that Rossi machine get larger in our camera? Yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. No, then he gets on the brakes, and he goes back just a little.
Well, we're on board with Ukawa looking back at Valentino Rossi. He's also running a strong pace, 48.8. Those 4 riders, the leaders, are the only riders running in the 48s. Remember, we practice pace was in the low 48s. 48.1 put you on the pole. So the 250's running very quickly. Who's retired, crashed on the Antenna 3 machine. So I guess the crowd a little quiet because of a lack of Spanish interest. Well, there's less Spanish interest now as he looked like he might have locked the front brake there. Place Rossi as he comes across the line now. They're still running these 48.5, 48.7 pace. Again, Luki closed. As Rossi looks up the inside there, Luki's actually pegging them back, and there you see him in the same frame.
He certainly is. He is reeling them in hand over fist. So we have the Honda being chased down.
Rossi sitting behind Ukawa. Now, Ukawa's really a changed man since he had that win in France. You can just see more confidence, more, you know, more alacrity in his step. The pole position here, his first ever pole position. He's leading the championship.
From Tajira Kato in early April, it was Aprilia whitewash.
Here
the big
comes,
thick white brush.
Here comes that big number 46 alongside, still not going to make the move.
And Luki is just loving this. He's just loving it. He's just reeling them in every time. Is Tomomi Manako, I believe, yes it is, on the silver and blue Yamaha Team Kurtz bike. Manako, winner of the 125 race here last year.
Is that Porto in there?
I think it may have been, Dennis.
Haven't seen much of Sebastian Porto this year, but I believe that was Porto.
Meantime, we come back now, certainly with these 3 in the...
Well, Honda did a lot of work on the 250s, on the twins, including the 500 twin as well. They did a lot of work on their twin-cylinder bikes over the winter, and you can see the difference. The Aprilia still seems to have the advantage in top 68. That was the quickest bike in practice. 268 is about what is that, about 166 miles per hour, and the second fastest bike is the one that's in 3rd position here, that Marcellino Luki. His bike just 3 kilometers an hour slow. He's going to put his head down and really charge here for a while to see if he can do anything about this, but the impression that I got from watching Valentino Rossi early in the race was that he was just biding his time to make a move. He doesn't want to use up his tires, but he looks very comfortable in the lead, whereas you can see Ukawa really bearing.
Oh, look at the lead of Valentino Rossi in 1 lap as he comes over the line.
Let's see what Luki does about him here on the straight. Shamelessly comes past on the middle of the straight. So it's now Aprilia's running 1st and 2nd.
Valentino Rossi leads this race by 1.1 seconds ahead of Toru Ukawa at ahead of Marcelino Lucchi. My apologies, Marcelino. Toru Ukawa in that third position, led for the initial part of this race. 46 Aprilia fairing. Haven't seen those aerodynamic appendages. Put my teeth in later. Appendagi. Put my teeth in later. Another. Whoa, second position taken back now by the Honda of Toru Ukawa. So they have been working hard. We have a wide span of ages in the commentary booth, don't we, Dennis? Everything covered.
Well, we got it even better covered when Randy's here. Of course, Randy Momola not with us today because he's recovering from a broken leg at a clinic here in Barcelona. His leg was broken last week when he was...
Terrifying accident where McWilliams's front brake was just touched by the back of Rolfo's then technical TSR Honda. And the front brake on the McWilliams Honda then was locked, and he went over the top at something like 150 odd mile an hour. It was terrifying.
Find out very quickly as they power down the start-finish line now, and we'll look up at our screen. And it's a 49 dead from Rossi and a 48.5. He took a full half second from Rossi on that lap, so it wasn't an optical illusion. Ukawa has pulled back into the battle, and he's taking up the chase, and so is Nakano fighting back now. Of Catalunya, and suddenly we've got a race on our hands. Well, maybe we counted Ukawa out a little early. He's battling back. He lapped in 48.3 on the last lap, so in 2 laps he has really reeled Rossi back in. He took a half second from him on the last lap. He trailed him at the start of this lap by only 0.2 of a second. He's closer than that now. Ukawa, the championship leader.
Home just for a little, keeps it in the same gear. And then revs the pants off it as he goes over the finish line, past his pit board, past our commentary position, then into the open countryside, underneath the bridge. And really, we have got a race, all three as one.
Now, Ukawa continually coming else or down those placings. It's Rossi, Ukawa, Lucchi, then Battaini. Nakano's in 5th. Rolfo is in 6th. McWilliams is now in 7th. Perugini is 8th. Matsudo, 2 crashes yesterday, is in 9th. Good run from Hoffman, who's in 10th. Bosco Scuro 11th. It was Sebastian Porto, the Argentine that we saw earlier. He was up in 12th position.
To this, well, it's his own team, the FGF Racing Battini Aprilia. There is, it's Ralph Foreman on the telephone, probably to, well, I want to say he's going to be on the phone to his son. Of course, Ralph Foreman, father this week. Now, let's have another replay of this. We're on board with...
Try and get through, and Rios, who's just never been a front runner, he's first year in the Grand Prix. The Argentine just not into the corner as quickly as Wallman wanted to go, and Max tagged him. Well, Nakano has been pushing hard to try and close back up, but Battaini wicks it up again and starts to pull away. So a frustrating day for Nakano, who's seen just an awful lot more of the back of these.
Is that number of Valentino Rossi. His father again here this weekend. Tends to follow around the European circus at every race, following his son Valentino. Onto the home straight. Bags of runoff. Look at that grandstand. Go. And a 23-lap 250 Catalonian Grand Prix through this jink right and then left, and then the long right-hander. Ukawa is riding as aggressively as probably we have ever seen him. He's got a good setup today on the Shell Advance Honda. He's doing well. He's in 2nd position. He is absolutely furious with himself. Maybe he's furious because maybe there's a problem. Maybe there's been a problem with the bike that caused him a position. Therefore, it is number 21, Franco Battaini, who is now in 3rd position, and Shinya Nakano knows that Battaini is in 3rd rather than 4th, and Nakano knows that he can get another podium here.
I think what you were saying, I think Lucchi is entitled to kick a few waste cans around the garage, because it's been a tough couple of weeks for the Italian veteran. Rossi still not able to get away from Ukawa. Quite the contrary. Ukawa, every lap is in ship, and it's been developing as a rider by Honda. They've worked with him as a factory HRC rider now on the Shell Advance team, and leading the championship. He is putting in, to my way of thinking, Toby, this is the best ride through, you know.
His retirement of then the light blue Honda that he was riding in the other color scheme. Now with this Shell Advanced team run by Jeff Hardwick in conjunction with Michael Doohan, of course. Oh, change of third position. Shinya Nakano was still with Ukawa in second. A big gap then back to this duo of Nakano and Battaini.
Nakano really on the ragged edge. Whoa. We saw that there, and it's not going to be to much avail because that Aprilia is just going to take Battaini back into the lead again. So frustrating for Nakano.
Battaini just made a mistake out of our view because his lap time was way off the pace. Rossi still has the advantage. 4 laps to go. I repeat, this is going to be a real ding-dong battle, but well, it's difficult to put your money. I mean, coming into this race, maybe we had it on Ralph Waldman. I went with that theory, Dennis, only this morning when I realized how consistent he was in
anything back or not. We'll see, but he's been reading his board and seeing that he's not getting away, and then we saw him take a look over his shoulder just to confirm just how close Ukawa is. I'm sure he knows who it was. As they come now through the right-hander, they'll be coming blasting right past our commentary position over the grid. Start-finish line located right in front of our booth, and it's a 49.3 from
around 125, 130 miles an hour before the next long right-hander. All sorts of black lines being left on the track by the rubber, all of the rubber in the front of this 250cc class, of course, running on Dunlop. Oh, Rossi, does he leave a bit of a door open? Oh, yes, he let him through.
He's slowing the pace down by 2 or 3 seconds on that memorable occasion. No, here, this is a straight race, but Rossi might just appreciate having Ukawa come past. Using all the road down the start-finish line now. The Aprilia with the Honda in its slipstream across, and this time again just identical level pegging. 49.2s from both riders, nothing in it. 2 laps to go. Ukawa has been stalking Rossi now. Gradually, Nakano seems to be decided in favor of Battaini at this time. Nothing decided here. This is an unknown prospect. We've not seen a Honda hound an Aprilia like this.
Certainly not. And the Aprilia was also dominant at Mugello only 2 weeks ago with a similar length of home straight. And if well, the weight of Honda, of course, now on
coming into this race. He's got 101 points compared to Valentino Rossi's 70, but it's a matter of honor here too. He doesn't want to win the World's Championship just by racking up points, and he knows that if he lets Rossi win too many races, the advantage, the momentum is going to go with the Italian. Closing at the end of the straight. Still, last lap begins. Still Rossi holding the lead. Inopportune back marker, but he does move over and lets him pass. So Valentino Rossi, well, there's about 2 miles to go here at the Grand Prix of Catalunya.
Ukawa's jinking one way then the other. This is the corner that brings him onto the back straight. This is around 0.6, 0.7 kilometers long, and Rossi has the advantage. Ukawa is not quite close enough to keep in the slipstream. This is the tight left-hander, the second slowest corner on the track. Rossi takes a tight line, and Ukawa, does he take a time? Just ahead of Toru Ukawa. A brave and noble effort from Ukawa, but it was a championship effort from the pair of them. Rossi wins by a couple of bike lengths ahead.
And here comes the battle for third place. Battaini still leading, but Nakano fighting back, but it's not going to be enough. That Aprilia, too much power for Nakano today, so it's third for Battaini and fourth for Nakano.
We wait for 5th position, which should go to Roberto Rolfo, who is well, 2 wins in a row for Valentino Rossi.
Well, you still can't win from the pole, can you? Ukawa, another guy off the pole doesn't win. Comes close. That's 11 Grand Prix in a row where the man on the pole has not won.
On the first ever podium for Franco Battaini. Let's not forget that. The 20... Hey, if that chain hadn't slipped the sprocket in France, he would be 1 point behind Ukawa. No, he'd be 4 points ahead of him because Ukawa then wouldn't have won it and be 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ukawa, too, in this race, has to be thinking a little bit about what it, you know, at this racetrack, there'll be better times for Yamaha. Donington Park is coming, and so